Your name is Timothy Berkshire. You have been... Oh, dude, that's a good one. Your name is Levi Rosman. You are an international chess master trying to become a grandmaster, which is your lifelong ambition, and you will not rest until it is accomplished. You are playing in the World Chess Championships in Baku, Azerbaijan. There are many other noted chess professionals there, such as Paul Morphy, Jose Raul Capablanca, Mikhail Tal, both Botez sisters, Hikaru Nakamura, Gary Kasparov, as well as the AI program known as Deep Blue.
You have been invited by the President of Azerbaijan to represent your country at this championship. The President has asked that you play for him in order to show his support for the nation's strong economic growth and development plans.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will represent my home country, USA, with pride.
Thank you, Mr. President. You reply, I will represent my home country, USA, with pride. The President looks surprised for a moment before he smiles and nods his head.
I gave the AI another chance. Let's have them build the world for us here.
That's all I ask, he says. You don't need to win the event, just do your best for your country and compete as the Azerbaijan flag. You nod in return and shake his hand.
I don't think he gets it, but you know what? That's okay. Okay. Having established the motivation for your ambition, you get ready for round one. Your opponent in the chess tournament is
a skinny kid in his early 20s who has a tendency to blink a lot. You get the impression that he may be nervous or even intimidated by your reputation as a grandmaster.
Say, don't worry, kid. It'll be over soon.
Don't worry, kid, you say, it'll be over soon. Your opponent seems to relax a little and cracks a brief smile.
Yes, it will, he says. Over soon. For you, because I will beat you with a checkmate in under 10 moves.
You raise an eyebrow. 10 moves, you say? You're not just saying that to psych me out, are you? Psych you out?
Say, never mind. Make your first move.
Never mind, you say, make your first move.
Start your opponent's chess clock and await their first move.
Your opponent sets up the chessboard before moving his king's knight. A few moves later, your opponent has developed a rook and castled his king.
Play the Play the Caro con defense. He's developed a rook so early.
You decide to play the relatively simple Caro-Can defense where you focus on protecting your pieces rather than launching any attacks. With a closed position like this, it will be heavily in your favor.
Your opponent begins the mid-game by... This is kind of incredible.
Developing his other knight.
Wow.
You proceed to exchange a few of your minor pieces to hinder his development while keeping all your pieces' potentialities. So far, so good.
Say. I mean, that was what... I don't know who said that, okay? So you know what? I'm just going to hit enter.
Your opponent asks after you make the third move. Oh, I'm sorry, are you not a grandmaster? You don't think 3 moves ahead? He chuckles nervously as you make your 7th move.
You thinking 3 moves ahead like a real grandmaster, making my 3rd move and my 7th move at the same time. Create pressure on the opponent's king side.
You decide to apply pressure on your opponent's castled king. The game is yours for the taking. You make it to his king in 10 moves and he resigns after move 20.
Look at that.
Well played.
Say, hey kid, can I give you some advice?
Hey kid, can I give you some advice? He looks at you suspiciously. If I knew who you were, then yes. Why?
If I were you, I'd stick to checkers.
If I were you, I'd stick to checkers. Your words hit him like a slap in the face. You smile and wave goodbye as he sits there, stunned. I'll be at the bar.
I'll be at the bar. That's Levy right there. Stick to checkers. I'll be at the bar.
You say to no one in particular as you turn around and walk away from the crowd and towards the bar. You order a drink and take a seat by the window.
Fancy seeing you here, says...
A British accented voice from behind you. You turn around to see the face that goes with the voice. Oh, hello there, James, you reply. Pleasure to see you again.
It's James... James Bishop, the English Grand Master, who is bad and washed up.
He's currently in his late 30s, but he's been playing chess since he was a kid, so he's more than double your age.
Don't refuse to make eye contact with James Bishop because you don't enjoy his company. Dot.
You stare straight ahead, fixated on the bartender as he approaches you. With his right hand he grabs a glass, turns around and pulls a drink from the tap with his left hand.
Hey, barkeep. Check, please. Checkmate, please.
You say, "Ha, get out of here." Bishop chuckles, then says, "I'm surprised you can still walk after that." You don't respond.
Go see who your second round opponent is. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Get out of here, Bishop. Yeah, go to horny jail.
You stand up from your chair and turn around to see the player you will be facing in the second round. You recognize him as Russell Cox, the man who finished second in this year's US Championship.
Russell Cox. Hey, Russell. Hope you figured out how to respond to the grab opening.
That's exactly what I was planning to do, he replies with a wry smile. With your opponents for the second round decided, you head off to register for the third and final round.
Doesn't make any sense. I just saw James Bishop. He says, hey. Hey, Russell, I hope you figured out how to respond to the grab opening. Your next opponent is Russell Cox, the man that finished second in this year's U.S. Championships. I'll see you soon. Hey, Russell, hope you figured out how to respond to the grab opening. Hey, Russell, hope you figured out how to respond to the grab opening.
You sit in your chair by the window and look out onto the street. You watch as people bustle about their daily lives, walking from store to store.
1G4, G5, he says. You can't grab a grabber.
You laugh and shake your head. You are incredible, you say, and quite a character.
Yo, Dan, thanks for the raid.
Says, with a wide smile on his face.
We're 1-0 in the World Chess Championships in Baku, Azerbaijan right now. We're about to play against Russell Cox. He came second in the U.S. Championships last year. Sit down at the board and play your second round game.
You sit down at the chessboard facing Russell.
It's true. Did I stutter? Did I stutter?
He gives you your choice of color, and, knowing he is black, you decide to give him the advantage of going first.
I don't think that's how that works. You're the top seed, so you get to make the first move, he says confidently. Okay. Play.
He looks confident,
accelerated
but then again he stood up to his strong
London
showing at this
opening.
year's US Championship. You're the top seed, so you get to make the first move, he says confidently. You make the first move, going for an aggressive opening. Russell responds with a chuckle, and says this is going to be easier than I thought. He was right.
Oh! Place the queen, extra queen you smuggled up your sleeve onto the board to put your opponent into checkmate.
With your hidden queen, you manage to checkmate Russell in a few moves. He smiles and shakes his head as he rises from the chessboard. I should have seen that one coming.
Don't be upset, Russell, with one L. It's only check, mate. I don't know. I tried. I'll be at the bar.
That's true, Russell replies with a chuckle. Well played, you're a tricky one. You bow and offer your hand to help him up off the floor.
When Russell tries to grab your hand. You pull it away and run it through your hair and say,
"Oh wait, that was the other hand that I used to defeat you." He gives you a strange look and then begins to chuckle to himself. You are quite the comedian, kid.
all right. Oh my God, it's time for the final round. You are playing against the greatest chess player in the world, named
Arturo the Great Garcia. He's the same man who defeated Weaver in last year's championships. He must have been studying you. You approach the board and shake hands with the Great.
He defeated Weaver, dude? I thought Weaver was undefeated. I hope you don't think I'm as bad as Weaver.
No, he says, "I think you're much worse." You look at him, and he gives you a smile and then a wink.
Wow! Hey, Arturo, I just wanted to say good luck. You're gonna need it.
You too, he answers. You both turn and walk in opposite directions to prepare for the game. After a while, the commissioner steps onto the stage and addresses the audience.
Okay. What does he say?
Folks, it is time for this year's final round.
Folks.
The Great, playing white, against the Master, playing black. The winner will be this year's US champion.
Okay. Thought it was the World Championships in Azerbaijan, but that's okay.
Let's play for the title. The Great and you take your places at opposite sides of the board. The audience hushes as the commissioner announces the start of the match, in a dramatic performance rarely seen outside of these games.
I'm just letting the AI handle this. Let's see how the AI plays this out to start with. We're going to wrap it up so we can move to Geo.
Arturo waits for you to make the first move. You pick up the white queen and take a deep breath. Then make your first move, pushing the queen forward 2 spaces.
All right. First off, we're the black pieces, but we'll be going first, and we will play queen to d6 as our first move.
The Great makes a show of studying the board, then picks up his queen and places her 1 space forward.
All right, so he has replied.
That he has just set you up for a losing move.
With queen d2. And we're already set up for a losing move. He took his own pawn.
The Great is famous for winning games by causing his opponent to make an error, and he has used the same strategy against you today.
Oh no. Okay. Make the only move that escapes checkmate.
You make the only legal move, moving your knight into an attacking position. The Great smiles, and makes his next move, taking your knight with his bishop.
Oh my god. He jumped his bishop over his pawns, man.
You know that you are in a losing position, but you are determined not to lose as Weaver did last year. You make another move, trying to lead the Great into a trap.
Ha ha. I see your trap. The great says, as he makes his move. What the great did not realize was that there were 2 traps. And he fell into the worst one.
You make your next move, and the great resigns.
It's just
I
that
have
easy.
to admit, you are one of the best opponents I have ever faced.
Say, hey, great. Hey, Arturo. Say hi to Weaver for me.
Weave? I thought he was your friend. He is. There is a moment of silence as the great recalls the memory of Weaver's loss last year. He puts his hand on your shoulder.
Weaver's death has been hard on all of us, Levy. The important part is that we all lift each other up in this community.
He extends his hand, which you accept.
You unsheath the hidden assassin's blades embedded in your sleeve, slicing his arm off at the humerus.
The great screams in pain as you stab him in the throat, grabbing his head to hold him in place as you repeatedly stab his face.
Okay,
you
okay.
have just enough time to pull out the knives
I'm
before
sorry,
the guards rush in.
I'm sorry. The moral of the story is the AI goes too hard, man.
This, never trust a smiling opponent.
Okay. Never trust a smiling. Anytime you choose violence in this game, the AI is like, finally! All right. That was fun, though. That was a good time.